All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Meenakshi Sun and with me is Sunil Verma. The headlines. Bihar Assembly elections to be held in 3 phases on October 28th, November 3rd and 7th. Counting to take place on November the 10th. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold virtual bilateral summit with his Sri Lankan counterpart today. Income Tax Department launches faceless income tax appeals to streamline collection process and check corruption and unfair practices. COVID-19 recovery rate stands at 81.74%. Funeral of legendary singer S.P. Balasubramaniam to take place with state honours near Chennai today. And in IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals beat Chennai Super Kings by 44 runs in Dubai. In our special series on the occasion of the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we begin this bulletin with Bapu Ki Baat on saving and preserving the culture. In a post-prayer speech at Sodhpur in West Bengal, Mahatma Gandhi said, "Any culture and civilization can be saved and preserved by the people themselves."
हर एक मनुष्य को अपनी संस्कृति को मानी अपनापन की रक्षा वही कर सकता है, दूसरा नहीं कर सकता है। जब दूसरा मेरी रक्षा करता है तो मैं उसका गुलाम हो जाता हूँ, मैं उसका ऋणी बन जाता हूँ।
And now the news in detail. The Election Commission has announced the dates for assembly elections in Bihar. Announcing the poll schedule in New Delhi yesterday, Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora said the elections will take place in 3 phases starting from the 28th of the next month. The counting will take place on the 10th of November. He said the Model Code of Conduct has now come into effect.
General elections to the Legislative Assembly of Bihar shall be conducted in 3 phases. In first phase, 71 assembly constituencies in 16 districts, including most of the LWE districts, will go for poll. In second phase, 94 assembly constituencies in 17 districts will go for poll. Third phase, 78 assembly constituencies in 15 districts will go for poll.
The Chief Election Commissioner said the number of phases for the 243-member Bihar Assembly poll has been reduced, keeping in mind the security arrangements and the festive season. Voting time has been extended by 1 hour till 6 p.m. and COVID-19 patients will vote in the last hour of the day. The Chief Election Commissioner said the number of polling booths has been increased to ensure social distancing and the norms will have to be followed at public gatherings during the poll campaign. The number of people accompanying a candidate for submission of nomination has been restricted to 2, while door-to-door campaign can have maximum 5 people, including the candidate. The Election Commission has also created an option facility to fill the nomination form and affidavit online and submission of the same after taking a print before the returning officer concerned. For the first time, the candidates will have the option to deposit a security amount online for contesting the elections. Mr. Arora said that 7 lakh hand sanitizer points, 46 lakh masks, 6 lakh PPE kits, 6.7 lakh face shields, 23 lakh pairs of hand gloves have been arranged in the wake of the COVID pandemic. He said the Election Commission has made elaborate arrangements for ensuring the effective implementation of MCC guidelines.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Sri Lankan counterpart Mahinda Rajapaksa will be holding a virtual bilateral summit today. The summit will be Prime Minister Modi's first such virtual engagement with a neighbouring country and also Mr. Rajapaksa's first diplomatic engagement with the leader of a foreign country after he was sworn in as Prime Minister in August this year. More from our correspondent.
Sri Lanka bilateral relations are marked by regular high-level exchanges. Such exchanges have provided momentum to mutual cooperation and ties which are multidimensional in nature and cut across spheres such as commerce, security, defense, culture and tourism. A virtual bilateral summit under challenging circumstances posed by COVID-19 testifies to the deep-rooted civilizational ties and shared heritage between the two neighboring countries. This is also a reflection of India's neighborhood-first approach and Sagar doctrine. The summit will give an opportunity to the two leaders to comprehensively review the broad framework of the bilateral relationship in the context of the time-tested friendly ties between the two countries. With Suparna Saikia, Anupam Mishra, AI News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the United Nations General Assembly UNGA this evening. As the UNGA this year is being held in the backdrop of the novel coronavirus pandemic, it is being conducted mostly virtually. The theme of the 75th UNGA is The Future We Want, the United Nations We Need, reaffirming our collective commitment to multilateralism, confronting the COVID-19 through effective multilateral action. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the farm bills and labour laws recently passed by Parliament will free the farmers and workers in the country from the cobweb of unnecessary laws. Addressing BJP party workers on the occasion of the birth anniversary of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, he took a sharp dig at the opposition parties and said they are misleading the people by spreading blatant lies.
किसानों से हमेशा जिन्होंने झूठ बोला है, झूठ बोलने वाले कुछ लोग इन दिनों अपने राजनीतिक स्वार्थ की वजह से किसानों को भ्रमित करने में लगे हैं। ये लोग अफवाहें फैला रहे हैं। देश के किसानों को ऐसी किसी भी अफवाह से बचाना, कृषि सुधार का महत्व समझाना भारतीय जनता पार्टी के हम सभी कार्यकर्ताओं का बहुत बड़ा कर्तव्य है। किसानों की तरह ही हमारे यहाँ दशकों तक देश के श्रमिकों को भी कानून के जाल में उलझाकर रखा गया है। 4 लेबर कोड्स के माध्यम से देश के श्रमिक साथियों को दर्जनों कानूनों के कुचक्र से बाहर निकालने का प्रयास हमने किया है।
The Prime Minister stressed that the much-awaited freedom in the agriculture sector will be achieved by the new farm bills. He said farmers will be able to sell their produce anywhere in the country, in addition to the existing mandis.
More than 1 crore passengers have flown on over 1 lakh flights since resumption of domestic operations on the 25th of May this year. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that domestic aviation is moving towards pre-COVID figures. He congratulated all stakeholders on achieving this milestone in India's journey towards creating an Atmanirbhar Bharat. The minister said total number of departing passengers on Thursday was over 1,19,000 and total number of arriving passengers during this period was over 1,21,000. He added that total departures were 1,393, whereas arrivals were 1,394, taking the total number of movements of flights to 2,787. Further, the total number of passengers footfalls at airports across the country was over 2,40,000 a single day. In the wake of COVID-19, the operations of domestic scheduled commercial airlines were ceased from 25th March this year.
The Indian Air Force is all set to tackle any challenge in Ladakh region. Amidst tensions with China in the eastern Ladakh region, the Indian Air Force is fully prepared to tackle any challenges at high altitude line of actual control. More from our correspondent.
High altitude air bases for advantage over its neighbors. Strategically located airbase in Ladakh is equipped with all assault and defensive mechanisms. Forward Airbase in Ladakh is capable of operating Sukhoi's MiGs, LCA, Tejas and the latest entrant in Indian Air Force, the Rafales as well. Apart from the fighters, the airbase is also operating cargo aircraft of Indian Air Force to provide logistic support with night operation facilities.
This forward base is fully equipped and ready to undertake operations by day or night facing both the fronts, be it the east or the west. The air warriors over here are highly trained and motivated enough to undertake operations by day, night, 24/7 and 365 days. And we are standing by the motto of Indian Air Force, to touch the sky with glory.
The forward airbase is strategically important to guard the country's airspace from the challenges. China is using its airbase in Hotan on east side and Skardu in Pak-occupied Kashmir on the west side.
The Indian Air Force is well trained and ready to undertake night operations from here. them. And for us, nation comes first, always and every time.
Clamped between the two international borders, the Indian Air Force and its air warriors in Ladakh are geared up to tackle the challenges with futuristic preparations. Ramesh Chandra, All India Radio News, Leh.
The fourth edition of India-Japan Maritime Bilateral Exercise, JIMEX, begins in North Arabian Sea from today. The exercise is conducted biennially between the Indian Navy and Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force, JMSDF. The JIMEX series of exercises commenced in January 2012 with special focus on maritime security cooperation. The last edition of JIMEX was conducted in October 2018 off Visakhapatnam coast. JIMEX 20 will be spread over 3 days and is being conducted in a non-contact at-sea only format in view of COVID-19 restrictions. Naval cooperation between India and Japan has increased in scope and complexity over the years. Advanced level of operations and exercises planned during JIMEX 20 are indicative of the continued upswing in Indo-Japanese defense relations.
The Income Tax Department has launched faceless income tax appeals. In a statement, the Central Board of Direct Taxes, CBDT, said under it, all income tax appeals will be finalized in a faceless manner with the exception of appeals relating to serious frauds, major tax evasion, sensitive and search matters, international tax and Black Money Act. The faceless appeal system aims to streamline the income tax collection process and check corruption and unfair practices during the resolution of the appeals of the taxpayers. The CBDT said now there will be no physical interface between the taxpayers or their counsel and the Income Tax Department. The taxpayers can make submissions from the comfort of their home and save their time and resources. The faceless appeal system will include allocation of cases through data analytics and artificial intelligence under the dynamic jurisdiction with central issuance of notices which would be having document identification number.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Bihar Assembly elections to be held in 3 phases on October 28th, November 3rd and 7th, counting to take place on November the 10th. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold virtual bilateral summit with his Sri Lankan counterpart today. Income Tax Department launches faceless income tax appeals to streamline collection process and check corruption and unfair practices. COVID-19 recovery rate stands at 81.74%. Funeral of legendary singer S.P. Balasubramaniam to take place with state honours near Chennai today. And in IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals beat Chennai Super Kings by 44 runs in Dubai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The country is registering a continuous increase in the number of patients who recovered from COVID-19. With over 81,000 people recovering in the last 24 hours, the total number of recovered patients now stands at over 47,56,000. The overall recovery rate has now reached 81.74%. The Health Ministry has said the gap between recovered cases and active cases is progressively growing wide. The actual caseload of the country currently comprises 16.67% of the total positive cases. The number of recovered patients has now overtaken the active cases by nearly 5 times.
Health Ministry today said India had recorded more than 4 lakh teleconsultations on eSanjeevani platform of the ministry across various OPDs and at Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centres. In a tweet, the ministry said Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh crossed 1 lakh teleconsultations each. It said eSanjeevani has provided various essential medical services during COVID-19 pandemic to the beneficiaries, ensuring physical distancing. More than 18 states have utilized this mobile app to provide medical care to people.
The National Medical Commission, NMC, has come into existence as the country's apex regulator of medical education and profession in place of the Medical Council of India, MCI. The NMC comprises a chairman, 10 ex officio members and 22 part-time members. The NMC Act, which seeks to usher in mega reforms in the medical education sector, received the assent of the President on August the 8th last year. Former head of ENT department in the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Delhi, Dr. Suresh Chandra Sharma, has been appointed as chairman of the commission for a period of 3 years.
Gujarat registered a record 1,442 new coronavirus cases during the last 24 hours. The case tally in the state has crossed the 1,30,000 mark. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
With the recovery of 1,279 patients yesterday, the recovery rate has further improved and reached up to 84.74%. Total 1,10,490 patients have been recovered in the state till now. More than 41,10,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date, out of which 61,912 tests were carried out yesterday. At present, total active cases in the state are 16,505, out of which 92 patients are on ventilator. 12 patients died yesterday, taking the total death due to COVID-19 up to 3,396. Meanwhile, the number of people kept home quarantine have crossed 5,99,000 mark. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
Maharashtra government will issue a circular within 24 hours to all doctors and COVID-19 hospitals asking for rational use of remdesivir injections in treatment of COVID-19 patients. State Health Minister Rajesh Tope and State Food and Drug Administration FDA Minister Rajendra Shingane held a joint press conference on the issue. The FDA Minister says that a special campaign will be launched against black marketing of the antiviral injection in the state. We have a report.
State Health Minister Rajesh Tope visited government hospitals in Bhandara, Gondia and Nagpur to take stock of the situation and steps taken by the administration. When asked about excess use and shortage of remdesivir in COVID-19 hospitals, Tope said rational use of the injection is important and it should not be administered as soon as a patient is admitted. He said doctors and COVID-19 hospitals will be given directions on how to use remdesivir and a circular will be issued within 24 hours. Speaking about the supply of the drug, Shingne said by September 30, around 1,10,000 remdesivir injections will be available in Maharashtra from 5 to 6 pharmaceutical companies that are producing the drug. Devapra Bhattacharjee, AIR News, Mumbai.
Telangana has increased its testing capacity through real-time polymerase chain reaction (RT-PCR) to 20,000 COVID tests a day. State Health Minister Itala Rajendra has launched a Cobas 8800 system at Nizam's Institute of Medical Sciences in Hyderabad for COVID-19 tests, which can conduct 4,000 RT-PCR tests daily. Cobas 8800 system can test HIV, TB and Corona at a time. Speaking on the occasion, the minister said the government is hoping to see a decrease in the COVID-19 cases soon. In Karnataka, 8,655 fresh COVID-19 cases were reported during the last 24 hours. Among them, 4,080 were from Bangalore urban district, followed by 702 from Mysuru and 498 from Bellary. There are 98,474 active patients currently under treatment in various hospitals in the state. 5,644 people were discharged from various hospitals in the last 24 hours. With this, the total number of recoveries have increased to 4,50,302. The recovery rate has improved to 80.81%.
Odisha achieved another milestone in its fight against COVID-19 when its cumulative sample tests crossed 3 million mark yesterday. The state also reported the recovery of 4,388 patients in the past 24 hours, which is the highest single-day recovery so far.
With sample tests being a key weapon in the war against COVID-19, Odisha has pushed its daily testing capacity to the neighborhood of 50,000. While experts correlate the higher infection discovery with higher testing, the state of late has been witnessing its caseload getting heavier by more than 4,000 cases per day, making the cumulative total jump over the 2 lakh mark by yesterday. With the daily rate of growth of positive cases down at a little above 2%, the daily recovery too is on the rise. However, despite the trend in recovery trying to upset the infection, the active caseload of the state has further swelled to about 40,000, with the case fatalities touching 767 thus far. Girish Chandra Das, Bhubaneswar.
Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will launch the Mukhyamantri Kisan Kalyan Yojana in Bhopal today. The scheme has been prepared on the lines of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. On the occasion, the Chief Minister will also interact with the farmers through video conferencing. We have a report.
In Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, farmers are paid 6,000 rupees in 3 equal installments in a year, while under the Mukhyamantri Kisan Kalyan Yojana, the Samman Nidhi of 4,000 rupees will be given by the state government in 2 equal installments to the beneficiary farmers of the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. In this way, every farmer will now get a total of 10,000 rupees per year as Samman Nidhi in Madhya Pradesh. Meanwhile, the state government transferred rupees 40 crore 52 lakhs to the accounts of more than 16,000 meritorious students for purchasing laptops at the rate of 25,000 per student yesterday. Talented Students Promotion Scheme was started in 2009. Students who score more than 85% marks in the class 12th state examinations are provided funds to buy laptops. This year, around 40,000 students are being given more than 101 crore in this scheme. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
The funeral of legendary playback singer S.P. Balasubramaniam will take place at his farmhouse at Thamairai Pakkam in Tiruvallur district near Chennai in Tamil Nadu today. The mortal remains of the celebrated singer will be laid to rest with state honours. The renowned singer passed away in a hospital in Chennai yesterday. He was admitted to the hospital on the 5th of August for COVID-19 treatment. Though he turned negative for the viral infection later, his vital organs were severely affected. It led him to be put on a ventilator. However, he could not respond to the treatment. Several leaders, film personalities and thousands of people paid their last respects to Balasubramaniam at his residence in Chennai last evening. Later, the mortal remains of the renowned singer were taken to his farmhouse for the last rites. On the way, many more people gathered along the road and paid homage. Here is a tribute to the legendary singer.
The veteran playback singer S.P. Balasubramaniam holds the Guinness World Record of singing the highest number of songs by a single artist. He has rendered more than 40,000 songs in 16 Indian languages, including Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, Kannada and Malayalam. He has the record of winning the National Film Award for the Best Male Playback Singer 6 times, besides many other awards by different state governments and the Filmfare Awards. He was honoured with the Silver Peacock and the title the Indian Film Personality of the Year in 2016. The Union government honoured him with the Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan awards. S.P. Balasubramaniam has sung for many generations of film stars since making his debut in the film world in late 1966. The celebrated singer is no more, but his mesmerizing voice that breathes life into thousands of songs will continue to ring in the ears of music lovers for years together.
हम न समझे थे बात इतनी सी ख्वाब शीशे थे दुनिया पत्थर सी हम न समझे थे बात इतनी सी.
In Ukraine, the death toll from the military plane crash in Kharkiv region has risen to 25. The office of the country's Prosecutor General said in a statement that 2 people have been admitted to medical facilities in critical condition. According to media reports citing Ukrainian Defense Ministry sources, the crash of the AN-26 military aircraft was caused by engine failure. The Ukrainian State Emergency Services said 27 people were aboard the plane that included crew and cadets from a nearby Air Force university. In IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals beat Chennai Super Kings by 44 runs in Dubai last night to register their second consecutive win in the ongoing tournament. Sent into bat first, Delhi posted 175 for 3 in the stipulated 20 overs, riding on a brilliant half-century by Prithvi Shaw, who made 64 runs off 43 balls. Chasing the target, Mahendra Singh Dhoni led Chennai Super Kings could manage just 131 for 7 in the 20 overs. Today, Kolkata Knight Riders will take on Sunrisers Hyderabad in Abu Dhabi.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 35 degrees. The city is likely to have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature will be around 10 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 26 degrees. The city will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Ladakh will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature is likely to hover between 8 and 23 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the temperature is likely to hover between 9 and 31 degrees Celsius. It will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Muzaffarabad, partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm is expected today. The temperature is likely to hover between 16 and 34 degrees Celsius. The national capital Delhi is expected to have strong surface winds during the daytime. The minimum temperature will be recorded at 26 degrees Celsius and maximum is expected to be around 36 degrees. In Mumbai, there will generally be cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 32 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature is likely to hover between 26 and 36 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thundershowers. The minimum temperature in the metropolis will be 27 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 31 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The announcement of dates for the forthcoming elections in Bihar by the Election Commission dominates the headlines of most newspapers today. EC sets stage for India's first COVID-era elections in Bihar, reports the Hindustan Times. The Indian Express informs online nominations and masks, 3-phase voting in Bihar's COVID election. The protests against the farm bills have also been covered prominently by the newspapers. Protest against farm law rages on, reports the Pioneer. The Times of India writes on its front page, farmers, workers to benefit for first time in years from new laws, PM. The Economic Times reports on its front page, Vodafone wins rupees 20,000 crore tax arbitration against government. The Business Standard adds, government says it will consider all options including legal remedies. In its lead page story, the Indian Express informs, China, Pakistan in mind, PM to spell out India's priorities at UN General Assembly today. And finally, glowing tributes have been paid to noted singer SP Balasubramaniam, who passed away yesterday due to COVID. A soothing voice falls hard and mourns the Hindu in its headline. The Times of India says SP Balasubramaniam, golden voice over generations, falls silent.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Bihar Assembly elections to be held in 3 phases on October 28th, November 3rd and 7th, counting to take place on November the 10th. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold virtual bilateral summit with his Sri Lankan counterpart today. Income Tax Department launches faceless income tax appeals to streamline collection process and check corruption and unfair practices. COVID-19 recovery rate stands at 81.74%. Funeral of legendary singer SP Balasubramaniam to take place with state honours near Chennai today. And in IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals beat Chennai Super Kings by 44 runs in Dubai. We leave you with Bapu's favourite bhajan, Vaishnav Jantu Tene Kahi, sung by artists from Argentina.
Vaishnava Jana to Tene Kahiye, Je Pite Parai Jane Re. Vaishnava Jana to Tene Kahiye, Je Pite Parai Jane Re. Pare Dukha Upakar